Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. I'm spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. Today is July 11th, 2024, and if your birthday is today, you are a 4 of diamonds, and we're going to talk all about the destiny system, which I love, and we'll talk about that. And I'm going to go through a lot of the astrology that's going on, because I'm sure a lot of you right now are just asking yourself, what in the world's going on? Because a lot's going on, and a lot will continue to go on. This is a very, very interesting time, and it will only get more, I guess, challenging is the word I'm going to use. So let me say hi to a few people here. Hi, Sherry. Oh, Sherry, that's a great question, honey. I'm going to answer that. You asked about suits and numbers that are better matches for relationships. I'm going to put a pin in that and remember that, Sherry. Thank you for that. Hi, Dee Dee. Oh, happy birthday tomorrow for you, and you're headed to the Dells. So in Wisconsin, we have the most, some beautiful places, and the Dells is one of them. And happy birthday to you, Dee Dee, and that makes you a 3 of diamonds if tomorrow is your birthday on July 12th. And so I know you've had a lot of grieving problems here. And the first time traveling in 8 years, go you, Dee Dee. I'm happy for you. Hi, Angela. Okay, Sherry Craft, hi. Hi, Elizabeth Scott. Oh my gosh, how are you doing, Elizabeth? Wonderful therapist. Elizabeth is a great therapist, and she does past life readings too. Past life, because she does hypnosis, past life hypnosis. So if you need to find her, you can find her. She's on the East Coast, like in New York, and you could look at Psychology Today for Elizabeth Scott, and you could find her if you're looking for a wonderful spiritual psychotherapist. Hi, Renee Rossiter. How are you? Oh my gosh, it is a beautiful evening. Hi, Angela. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Nettie. Hi, Sasha. Hi, Stacy. Oh, so you purchased the Robert Lee Camp edition. It's very good. We'll talk about that, Stacy. It's very good. Hi, Vicki. How are you doing, my friend? Hi, Stacy. Hi, Serena. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Laura. Crum, how are you? And Regina, Joyce. Clark, hi, sweetheart. How are you doing? Well, I could just keep going hi and hi to everybody, but I think what I should probably do now is get into the astrology, because there's a lot going on in the world right now. So I'm going to start with, well, there's a lot of things to start with. If you've noticed, I mean, the energy starts to get a little challenging. Probably starting tomorrow. I mean, if you think, but Kellee, it's already been challenging. And yes, it has. I mean, I feel so sorry for my friends and family in Houston that are out of power right now because of the hurricane, and the heat around the country is just unbelievable. And some people don't have, air conditioning, especially in the Houston area. So really, my heart goes out to you guys. It is not an easy time. But starting tomorrow on July 12th, and I'm going to go into the Vedic astrology. So everybody, I do Vedic astrology, and that is where the stars and planets are accurately in their positions. So that's why I utilize this system. So on July 12th, Venus, that's tomorrow, Venus and Pluto are in opposition. And so this happens about every 12 to 14 months. But this time there can be some extreme emotional reactions. So if you are, in relationships, you might want to keep your calm or keep your cool if you can, because this can indicate a lot of passion and a lot of intense emotions and a lot of perhaps problems with control. So this Venus-Pluto opposition is what I'm talking about. And that can just trigger a lot. And on a global level, that also is associated with, it can be more floods. It can be, especially near waterways, and some violence and power plays. So it's starting tomorrow, I'm going to say everything starts to ramp up in the world. Just go with world. It is so challenging nowadays. So, but I always want to remind people, we did want to be here for this time. And you're thinking, Kellee, what in the world would we have signed up for this? Because we're going to learn a tremendous amount about ourselves. We really are, because we're going to see dark and light. We're going to see all kinds of situations that we would never have imagined, and it will be for our growth. So we always have an ability to go inward and experience our own growth of how do we feel about something, and to take a step back and to realize that you're safe. You go inward, you're safe, you're calm, and things, you'll watch how things play out here. You know, again, it's a fascinating time. And if you watched our Monday show with David Such, it was a wonderful show with James Van Prague and Life After Death and Beyond with our guest. It was a phenomenal show. And we did talk about how intergalactically we're always being watched over. And I would throw in, not only intergalactically are we being watched over, but we have, you know, I don't even know the number of angels all around us at any time. And so if you are feeling anxious by any of these energies, or if you're feeling anxious, you know, always call in the angels, always. And that's one of the things that he mentioned, and it's really true. You need to ask them for help. So you say, angels, would you please help me? Yes. Okay. And then you're to the races. And it's a very calming energy. So just remember that one. We all tend to forget that when we get in the middle of something, but just remember there's a lot of help out there. So also on July 12th, tomorrow, all the way through August, almost to the end of August, about August 26th, Mars, which is the planet of war and intensity and energy, it moves into Taurus in Vedic astrology. So it's going from Aries into Taurus. So Mars is an intense energy, and it's what we call a trigger planet. So it means that it makes events happen. And when it moves into Taurus, Taurus is an earth sign, and Taurus rules stability and finances and material things and nature. And so with Mars moving into an earth sign, it could trigger events, because also during this time of Mars into Taurus, Mars also on beginning July 12th, tomorrow. So tomorrow really does begin some big, large energies that could bring a lot of agitation, a lot of anger. So Mars conjuncts, which means gets very close to Uranus, and they're both in Taurus. So Mars is quick and Uranus is very slow moving, but it's sudden. And that could trigger some volatile event as well. Now, and that lasts from July 12th to July 17th. So that's a Mars conjunct Uranus. And also on July 15th, so again, in the middle of that period, Mars in this conjunction with Uranus is in exact conjunction at the exact degree in Taurus with this star called Algol. And Algol is the Death Star. It actually means to be beheaded. It's a very intense star, probably the most intense. And it's a really rare conjunction because Mars and Uranus exactly conjunct at that exact degree with Algol. It's very rare. So this is a time on the 15th of July to be very mindful. I would say be kind, because this is a time where things could be triggered and people could react without thinking easily. And now, although this Mars and Uranus conjunction does occur every year at about this time, it's rare for them to conjunct with the Death Star Algol. So this is just could be a very unstable time, especially I would say Monday the 15th and the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. All of that's going to be some unstable energy. And it could bring, again, floods. It could bring hurricanes because it's in Taurus, and Taurus rules Earth. So there could be volcanic issues. There could be just unexpected events. So that happens then. And then on July 16th through August 16th, if you were born July 16th to August 16th. In Vedic astrology, you are a Cancer. So if you are a Cancer, that means that you would feel more, you would be a little more emotion, because the Cancer means to feel. I have my moon is in Cancer, so it's like I feel everything. I can't get away from feeling. By the way, I'm watching The Bear, which if you have not seen The Bear, oh my gosh, whew, it's probably my favorite show, and I only have one episode left, and it's really, really good. But boy, I just feel everything on every character. Can't help myself. But anyway, we are going into Cancer on July 16th to August 16th. And that can also mean a little moodiness. People may be a little moody. They might start to feel like they don't have enough security. So this is going to be a very interesting, again, challenging time to practice spirituality, to really practice it. And everybody has the ability to go inward, and everybody can be also at the same time be triggered. So it's going to be a great time to practice balance. Maybe you don't want to watch the news. Maybe you want to be out in nature. It'd be a great time to do that. Because I'm not done yet. I wish I was, believe me. On July 16th, the same day the sun goes into Cancer, on July 16th, we have the second activation point for Pluto, the Pluto return, and into the United States chart. So Pluto returns once every 248 years. So the last time was, I believe it was 1776, or right around that time, 1776, when the United States was formed. And so now we're going to a Pluto return, and it will touch down 3 times in the United States. I think the first one was February 22nd. The second one is July 16, and the third one will be December 30th. And so it's very important, because what Pluto does is it eliminates like the old, and it represents the power that's needed to destroy the old process to build the new practice, the new process. And Pluto is kind of like Kellee. If you ever know who the goddess Kellee is, Kellee is the destroyer. And Pluto has a lot of that energy. It has the power to transform these old, worn out ideas and all kinds of attitudes. And Pluto packs a very significant punch here. It operates at an extremely deep and often, I would say, an unfathomable level. And it is a concentrated power. And Pluto rules all kinds of energy also, including nuclear weapons and nuclear power. It's very intense. So now that we are headed into the second one on the 16th, and then again, the second one on the 16th will have a lot to do with maybe, it could be a national setback. It could be, I don't know, a whole different change in the public mood. I mean, we're already seeing all of this happen and play out now. And so this is going to be a very powerful time here. So everybody just, relax, go inward, meditate is great. Go outside in nature, play with your animals. This is just a powerful time. And we all did sign up to be here. And as our guest on Monday, David Such, said, there was a line to get in, basically. And I agree with that. I know that as hard as it can be, as challenging as it can be, especially for the empaths out there, and especially when Saturn or when the sun goes into Cancer, a lot of empaths will be feeling the energy. So take really good care of yourself, and just remind yourself that everything passes. We continue to go forward. Think like that, and everything will be okay. Everything will be okay. It just will. So might look a little different, but we will all be okay. So let's now go into the destiny cards, because I really did want to talk about that. And for people that are new, I wanted to do the destiny cards because I wanted to I do them all the time naturally. And some people will say, like, what are you doing? What does that mean? And all of this. And how I got interested in the Destiny card system, how that even happened, was for people that don't know me. I had a traumatic brain injury in the year 2000. And that is going to be about what my upcoming book is. And my book will be out about the first week in September. So I'm really excited about that. And and before I forget, James Van Prague and I are doing a live event in Chicago, in Lake Forest, Chicago, on July 25th. So if you are anywhere in the Chicago area, please come and join us. We have some tickets left, and we're really excited about being together, because whenever James and I are together and we do live readings, it's so much fun and magic occurs. So please join us, because it's going to be a great evening. Because we both have not done a live event in quite some time. So it's going to be really fun. So please join us if you're available on July 25th. So here you go. But so how I got involved with the Destiny cards was when I had my traumatic brain injury that led me, because of my brain injury, I started seeing dead people and all kinds of things. And I can assure everybody, we are not alone. It's actually not possible to be alone. And I say that all the time, but it's true. I saw so much with my head injury. And what started happening to me is I started, after my head injury and had this huge spiritual awakening, I found myself on the other side all the time. And I was always in the Akashic records, and I was always learning, because I was told that I'd be doing readings for people. So I thought if I could constantly be on the other side and reading the Akashic records, then that's how I would give all the information to everybody that I was working with. So I was constantly trying to, memorize and do all of these things of all the Akashic records that I would look at. As fanciful as that sounds, that is exactly what happened. But my guide said to me, oh no, you're not going to be going there all the time. Instead, we have something else for you, and you will receive this, and this will help you with your readings. And I'm like, what? And the very next day, my girlfriend, Charlene, called me and said, I've got this thing. It's called a Destiny system, and you've got to check this out. And as the moment I saw that, I knew that this was what I was going to use to help me. Because when I do a reading for somebody, I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, and I also love to just look, and I love astrology, and I love to throw it all in. I love numerology, because I'm all about everybody learning about themselves. Like, I want everybody to know, why did you incarnate? Because if you know why you incarnate, you would make better choices. If you know certain people in your life, about them, you would either have less expectations, or you would understand what their path is. And I thought that it was so important. Now, I love astrology, love, love, love it. But doing a Vedic report for somebody takes a lot of time. And so for me, I found this to be just an extraordinary, an oracle for me to use. And I just think it's wonderful. So a history of it's called the Book of Destiny. Sometimes it's been called the Book of Life, the Cards of Life, the Mystic Cards, the Science of the Cards. And this has been an ancient esoteric science that has been actually around for centuries. And mystical orders that have seen this, they always talk about this information came from ancient Egypt, and that it's been preserved. So Olney Richmond was the self-appointed Grand Master of the Order of the Magi, and that's what it was called in the 1890s. And he released this book called the Mystic Test Book, and it started to reveal this system. And then in 1947, there was a woman named Edith Randall and Florence Campbell, and they founded their own book of this called Sacred Symbols of the Ancients. And I thought that was, in fact, I've looked at both books. They're fascinating. I think I have both books. Fascinating. And then this just kept going and going. And then other teachers found it and started to work with this. And one was Robert Lee Camp. And he has published a couple of great books on several. Several. And he's got a lot of followers with the work that he does. And Sharon Jeffers, who I just love, I think she's done a great job with promoting this as well. And it's a powerful system for both prediction and for self-understanding. And that's what I love about it, because you can learn about your past, you can learn about your present, you can learn about your future with this system. And although it's complex, it's easy for a layperson to get a lot of value when you do this. And so what it does is it happens to use a regular deck of playing cards. Now, obviously, back in the day, it did not, but it's because every day is different. Every day has a different meaning to it. And so it's based on numerology. It's based on astrology. It's based on, it's not like tarot, and it's not like I use a lot of James's cards, Talking to Heaven, or messages from the guides, or it's not like anything like that. This is something that covers your entire lifetime, and it also can cover past incarnations that you have had. And so the numbers on the cards have significance in their own right, as well as the card, like what kind of card, which suit it is. That has a lot of significance. And so it could be a heart, it could be a club, it could be a diamond, it could be a spade, but each has a certain meaning to it. And so the four suits represent, like hearts represent spring, summer represents clubs, autumn or fall represents diamonds, and the winter represents spades. So this is all about finding self-awareness. And again, I'm all about know thyself. And so the cards of destiny would be, if you were a heart. So if you ever hear me say you're a 4 of hearts or an ace of hearts, or whatever it happens to be, anytime you hear me say heart, it relates to the emotional realm. It relates to art. It relates to beauty, love, family, and also sensuality, the hearts. Now, if you hear me say clubs, like I'm a 4 of clubs, clubs relate to the mental realm, such as education, communication, teaching, mental intelligence, and intuition. What I find, and it's not an absolute, but what I do find are that some of the great mediums and psychics happen to be a club, because a club has everything to do with intuition. So you might hear me say, oh, how do I know you're a medium, or how do I know you're a psychic? I know by the birth card and the date and all of that. And I put it all together, and that's how I figured that out. Diamonds relate to values. So it could be material value. It might be spiritual value. Often when I say a diamond, the person who is a diamond might originally have to do with the value system of money, or what the worth is. But the idea for a diamond is always to be in balance spiritually, understanding material, but having balance spiritually. And spades relate to deep spirituality. So you will hear me say to somebody, oh my gosh, ace of spades, you were born in the deepest part of the ocean. Because spades really have to accommodate everything, from the emotional to the mental to the value. They take on everything. And so spades, when I know somebody is a spade, I know that they have worked hard to get here in this lifetime. I know the challenges. As soon as I see a birth date, I immediately know what the challenges are for somebody. So if you are an ace, if you're an ace of whatever, aces tend to, if you ever hear me say you're an ace of diamonds or an ace of hearts or ace of anything, they are to do with the individual. They also have to do with independence. They have to do with new ideas. So aces are very powerful. Just in their own right, they're powerful. If you are a two of anything, twos have to do with coupling up. So twos also have to do with overcoming fear. All twos, coupling up is very important, and overcoming fear is a big thing. And twos often are in a partnership, or cooperation is important. Being helpful is important. So twos have a very special place here. Now, if you are a 3 of anything, threes, as soon as I see a 3, I know that they're creative, they're artistic, and they have a great imagination. On the flip side of that 3, they can have a lot of anxiety and worry and mental chatter if it's not channeled properly. If you are a 4, like me, 4s tend to be very secure. They tend to be practical. They tend to be grounded and stable. I would say they're very stable. On the negative side of that, they can be fixed and stubborn. For me, once I make up my mind, I don't think I'm a stubborn. I think maybe when I was younger, I probably was. I don't think so anymore. Although Don might totally disagree with that. I don't think so. I don't think I'm all that stubborn, actually. But anyway, some 4s. Oh my gosh, I remember having one time I had this 4 of spades come into it for a session, and it was a male. Oh, and he just got so mad. Oh my God, I don't even remember why he was so mad. He was just so mad. He just blew up and ran out the door. And still to this day, it was the strangest experience. Anyway, I think I said something that pissed him off, really. Like, oh, you're stubborn. Anyway, a 5, if you're a 5, 5s are adventurous. 5s love freedom. Often what I will say, a 5 will say to me, and they're very independent, and they're impulsive, and they're restless, and they're fun, and they're energetic. Often, if I ever see a 5 that's married, a 5 of clubs, a 5 of anything, they have to balance that out with somebody who's either a 5 also, or somebody that understands that they have a need for freedom. Like a 5 would be very tough to be with a 2, because a 2 wants to, be together. Like a 2 wants to be together. And a 5 is like, oh, I didn't think so, But you will see 5s married. It's just that both partners tend to be 5s, actually. I'm always, fascinated by this. If you are a 6 of anything, all 6s are about balancing karma. That expression, you sow what you reap. What are you giving out? So 6s, a 6 of hearts has everything to do with balancing family karma. 6 of clubs would be speaking their truth in a balanced karmic way. And 6 of diamonds would always be financial balance. They're trying to give out financial balance. And a 6 of spades is really a very challenging card because it puts everything together. And a 6 of spades knows, first of all, they're wildly creative. And often I find them in the music business doing really well, or some form of creativity doing really, really well. But they know they cannot run from their karma. It's the damnedest thing. What is that saying? If you know, you know. It's really true with 6s. They know that they have to deal with their stuff. It's fascinating. Now, if you are a 7 of anything, 7s are about overcoming negativity. And because they tend to be, until they have some wake up call, pessimistic or skeptical, and they have to really learn to be spiritual. It's all about being spiritual. And so life will give them kinds of lessons that they will continuously, until they understand why they're constantly in a negative state, till they decide to make some different changes internally. And they do. I have seen some amazing 7s overcome the negativity. Amazing. If you are an 8, that is power. That is power. And you have to really watch the power wisely, because in 8, if not using it correctly, could easily be a total narcissist or a total sociopath. I mean, because they have such power there. And I don't care if it's a heart, a diamond, a club, a spade, it doesn't matter. I have seen many 8 of spades running corporations, because and doing it in a very reflective way. So that's important. I see a lot of therapists as 8 of hearts. And again, they have to watch, because an 8 can go into manipulation of anything. So you have to really watch that. An 8 of clubs is wildly intuitive, so intuitive. In fact, they have a brain that just is unbelievable. They have to trust their own power with it. If you are a 9 of anything, 9s come to complete a soul cycle. So if you are a 9 of diamonds, you come in to complete what would have been started long time ago with regards to what is important, what are the values that hold important to you. In fact, the Nine of Diamonds is somebody that comes to give and give and give and give. All nines will say, that just really wasn't fair. Like whatever it would almost not even feel fair in so many places with the nines. But a nine also has the maturity to understand. And some of them will say, this is my last time on earth. This is it. I'm done. And often they are, because there's a soul completeness here. Now, if you are a Jack, you are very creative, and there's like an eternal youth that comes with it. And they can be really immature, and they can be very crafty, and they can be wildly bipolar. All of a sudden, I'll see a lot of Jacks that are bipolar, because they'll have this mood swing with energy until they learn to ground it. But they also are some of the greatest healers. Some of them are the best healers. So Jacks are really interesting with energy. Now, if you are a queen of any suit, you can be of great service to humanity. And that's on the positive side. You have to watch being demanding. So all queens have to watch being demanding. And if you are a king, it's power, it's leadership, can be, I have seen many of them as very arrogant. I'll say, oh, what's the birth date? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Or they can be the greatest givers of all. So, and if your birthday is December 31st, they call that the Joker card. This system does not read that card at all. So I have to go. If I have every once in a while, I'll get somebody with that birth date, and I use a different system totally when I go to do that. But I hope that brings a lot of people some information about this, because I think it's just an important thing. And so Sherry Craft, you asked, are there some cards or suits or numbers that are better matches in relationship with others? Yes. For instance, if you are a 2, often 2s will be with aces, or 2s will be with 4s. I see that a lot with even, not necessarily even numbers, but and 2s really want to couple up. Again, if you're a 5, not really. You really don't want to at all. And if you're a 9, you would look for people that would be really mature. You'd have to, because you will have gone through so many steps to get to your life that you'd really need the maturity, I would think. So I hope all that helps and people understand things. And I have a lot of questions, so thank you for all your questions. And of course, I'll answer as many as I possibly can tonight. So, okay, so Tanya Fulton, she asked, her birthday is August 23rd. Now, August 23rd is a 3 of clubs. James Van Prague's birthday is August 23rd. And she said, am I supposed to be on the path of mediumship? And here's what I would say, Tanya. She says, I've been able to pass information from the other side, but it's spontaneous rather than at will. I feel like I've helped a few people that this has happened for. So, Tanya, you certainly could be set up to be a medium. How that works is you put in dedication, like constant dedication on this road. This is not for the faint of heart, and it's not for somebody just to, I'll just, give this and I'll just do that. If you really want to be a medium, you actually, honey, could be, because of that birth placement, has everything to do with connecting to the other side. It really, there have been some very famous mediums that were born exactly on that day, actually, as a 3 of clubs. Very, very powerful day. So if you want to, anybody who's a 3 of clubs out there would, you have to really work as a medium. You have to really put the time and energy into it. And that's just how that works. And so Tippy Landis says, I'm a 2 of spades, and I'm wondering if, and your birthday is January 12th, so you're wondering if there are certain destiny numbers that are good matches for finding a partner. Tippy, anybody that, again, probably not a 5, but another 4 would be great, a 6 would be great, even an 8 would be great. So anything that makes you feel safe and heard would be perfect for a 2 of spades, because 2 of spades is overcoming fear also. Okay, so Carol Zuber asked, this is such a great question. Carol, thank you for this question. She said, Kellee, do we reincarnate under the same sign and the birthday every time? And your birthday is January 3rd, which makes you a Jack of spades, which I will talk about in a second. No, we do not. We absolutely do not pick the same date in the same sign every time because we've already been there, done that. So no, we do not. We might choose a loved one's birth date and time to come in. That's always a possibility, but we would always choose something different to learn if we are to come back to this planet. Earth is a tough school. If we are planning on coming back, which I have not signed any agreement to come back, so you certainly, I can't imagine that people would choose the same time. I just can't imagine it. I think that because you want to learn something different, I think you want to learn something different here. Donna Marie says, Kellee, you are radiant. Thank you, honey. She said, my name is Donna. I have some challenging situations happening in my life right now and around me. I'm wondering what your cards have to say. And your birthday is November 21st. So November 21st is a Queen of Hearts. So Queen of Hearts, one of the things that I would say about a Queen of Hearts is they really have to embody their own power. They have to get in the body and work on their emotion. The Queen of Hearts tends to run a little emotional. So you would really want to, and helping others is so important, Donna. So whatever the challenges are, I'm with that birth date, you could do anything. You can absolutely get as focused as you can on where you are right now. And probably a place to start is, where are you right now with everything? Maybe take an assessment. Where am I with everything? And get really grounded. Okay. It's a great opportunity now to really, in fact, it's great for everybody to get really grounded and focus in on, where are you right now? What am I doing? What do I need to get done? Without any fear, November 21st is a very powerful birth date. It does have to do with emotions. So I would be working on, where are you right now? That's an important one. And again, Carol Zuber, I meant to mention this. You're a Jack of Spades on January 3rd. And a Jack of Spades is very spiritual. They take the road, anybody born, and I say this every week probably, between January 1st and January 13th, very challenging because you took on all the energies of all these lifetimes to be here at this time. And January 3rd is all about Jack of Spades, which is about really deep spirituality. So you would have had things like, big loss, traumas, almost on the more of the loss, which would have led to trauma. But it's all about just understanding deep spirituality. And none of that is an easy, no way is that easy. It's just not. So that's not an easy thing here. So Patricia Aldana says, I've been watching you a long time. Oh, thanks, honey. I so appreciate that. I do. Hi, Lori LeClaire. How are you doing? Hi, Rita. I'd love to see your name, honey. Laura Isaac says, I would love a mini destiny reading, and you are 8/28. So August 28th is a Jack of Hearts. So, and also I should say this, everybody, when you do destiny readings, like astrology, there's the sun sign. So your 8/28 would be your sun sign, which you are a Jack of Hearts. And the rising sign, there's always a planetary ruling card. And that's like your rising sign in astrology. And that's a 9 of clubs. So a Jack of Hearts with a 9 of clubs tells me that a Jack of Hearts is all about sacrifice. The thing about Jacks are, just like I said with the Jack of Spades, Jacks come in with sacrifice. Jack of Hearts really has sacrifice to it because it's emotional. And it means that you've come into life to learn so many things about emotions and maybe giving to others in a way that you just have to. It's just a part of who you are. Jack of Hearts just is. They're very creative. Often I have some great musicians with that birth date that are wonderful. It's very sensitive. It's very emotional. So it's a very good placement, actually. And with the 9 of clubs, it makes you, 9 of clubs it's so funny to me. They love to learn new things. They love to learn about, it could be the most, anything. It could be the mafia. It could be they're learning about, astrology. They just want to keep learning. So I love 9 of clubs. I think it's a great combination of everything. Patricia Aldana, she says, lots of family changes. And your birthday is February 22nd, which makes you a 3 of diamonds. And your birthday and your husband is a January 31st, and January 31st makes him again a 9 of clubs, which is what I was just saying. So a 3 of diamonds also with a 9 of clubs. And so 3 of diamonds does come in to have lots of changes. And 3 of diamonds, anytime you ever hear me say 3 of diamonds, it is what I would say is the most challenging card in the deck. So again, with this destiny system, every day means something different. And depending on the month, we could add the astrology to it. And depending on everything, we could add and make the numerology of everything. So it's a fascinating system that I do love to use. And February 22nd, as a 3 of diamonds, this year, that was the first Pluto return touchdown was on the February 22nd date. So that would bring, I would think, lots of changes into your life. And remember, everybody has to remember this, changes, although at the time they might feel like, what is happening here? I will tell you, ultimately, it's for all of the better good to learn things from changing. And that's why we will constantly be changing. Hi, Karen KT from Australia. Thanks for watching from Australia. Kathleen Greenwood says, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Lake Forest. Yay, Kathleen. I'm so glad you're going to be there. I'm so excited about it. Hi, Ann Margaret. Hi, Marge. Hi, everybody. And I want to get some cards out for Talking to Heaven too, because, you know, I love my Talking to Heaven cards. They're not mine. They're James's cards, but I love them. I use them a lot. So I want to get some cards out for people here. And before I forget, Vicki, I want to get a card for you, honey. So, oh, here we go. We are so connected from your beloved husband, honey, Mike. He loves you so much. He's always, always, always there, sweetheart, always. So I wanted to say this. Don DeGroat said, yes, it already started. I got sick, COVID on the 4th. Oh my gosh. And you're still feeling it. Don, you know, James recovered from COVID just fairly recently. So it was definitely going around. I'm glad that you're starting to recover here. Mary Mabe, she says, Kelly, and my birthday is May 23rd. So May 23rd is also a 9 of clubs, which is interesting that I'm hitting a lot of 9 of clubs. All 9s have to do with, and you're a 9 of clubs, 9 of spades. So that would be a lot of completion of things, of the soul completing, finishing things. Again, things might not feel fair, but on a karmic level, all 9s come to complete. So will my deceased partner walk into another body and return as my partner? You know, Mary, somebody asked me that yesterday. Somebody asked me that exact question yesterday. And I can't say yes or no, but it's often I've not seen it. I can say that. It doesn't mean, could it happen? I can't fathom it, but maybe. I don't think so. I remember seeing my dog Maggie, who I just loved. I love all my dogs so much, but I loved Maggie so much. And when she died, Don and I were just beyond heartbroken. And I went to the store like 3 weeks later, and out of the store, I could not believe it. It's a store that I always went to. This woman, I thought she had my dog. I thought it was Maggie. And there's no doubt that Maggie was showing me her. But I remember thinking, did Maggie go into this body? Because I was so crazed about it. But no, I don't think so, Mary. I don't think so, honey. But I guess everything is possible. But again, it's funny that I was asked that question yesterday. Hi, Lizette. How are you doing? So Lisa Tonini, she says, what do I see with you in your work environment? I think in a lot of people, Lisa, the work environments are going to probably change in a lot of ways, actually. I think there'll be a lot of growth. I think a lot of people will do really well because it's what I talked about this today to somebody. It's about surfing this energy. If you can surf these waves, you'll probably do great in your work environment. Okay. Laura says we are near flooding here. Okay. Wow. That's a big deal, a really big deal. And I'm sorry to hear that is happening here, but those things are happening. Let's see here. Okay, Julie, here we go. Julie Munsterman. She says, so happy your book comes out on my birthday week. Yay! It will be a fantastic present. Oh, thanks, Julie. Question about being a 9 of diamonds. I'm trying to understand completing a soul cycle might be. So let me give you some examples. So a soul cycle means that you might be the one that comes in for the family that, let's say the family is wildly dysfunctional and you're the one that is actually understands it, but you're not participating in it. You might have come to complete this cycle of many lifetimes of that journey with this family and to do the best you can because a nine of diamonds, the one thing about a nine of diamonds is they're called the giver, which means they give, they give, they give. And you might think, is this unfair? Like, why am I constantly being the one that has to give? Because a nine of diamonds comes to complete the karmic path that they would have been on, that you would have been on, to give and give and give and help and help and help. So when you get home on the other side, you will be like, wow, I did my best. I gave it my all. I helped every single person that came into my life. Now, I'm not suggesting not having boundaries. I'm all about boundaries. But a nine of diamonds to complete a soul cycle means that, let's say you studied something, I don't know, whatever it was you were studying, and you learned everything. That cycle is over that. Then you move to the next thing that you're learning, and a friendship may come in, and a friendship might go, and you might be like, what happened there? It's the closing of a door, if you will. So a completion of a life cycle. I hope that helps, because you would have started this life and this journey a long, long time ago. I mean, all of us, really, if we're on earth at this time, we did not start what we're doing now just in this lifetime. It doesn't work that way. So is my book for sale this summer? Thank you, Laurel, for asking. No, it'll be for sale the first week in September. That is our launch. I don't have the exact day, but it's the first week in September. Thank you very much. Lizette, hi, Lizette. What were we thinking? I know. I'm thinking this is what we were thinking. I was thinking, wow, that's going to be amazing. Oh, and then the energy starts to build, and I'd like to be there. And I'm going to have this group here with me, and then you start going, and then you dig into the nuts and bolts of it, and then you launch into it, and then you get here, and you're like, oh my gosh. And that's when our learning starts to grow and our souls expand so much. So we really, really, I know it sounds like an unbelievable statement, but we did win the lottery to be here at this time. I know you're thinking, Kellee, have you lost your mind? Well, maybe, but if we did want to be here at this time, because we're all going to grow, and it's definitely old souls. And Marge says, did someone say if we are here because we are old souls? Yes, because only old souls could tolerate this energy. 100%, Marge. Every once in a while, I'll run into some soul that's very intergalactic that has, just kind of somehow got a ticket to be here. And I'm thinking, wow, how did that happen? But I have not, in the last I've been doing readings now for over 20 years. I have not seen somebody, and it used to be this way, where they had an easy life, because it used to be that you would choose a lifetime. They would call it a resting lifetime. So let's say you have somebody that is, it's been pretty darn easy for them. We call that a resting lifetime. But I don't see that anymore, because if you are here now, you are breaking up a family system. You are breaking up or clearing up the family constellation of the 13 generations of trauma behind and going forward. You are here to work. And that's what the energy is calling for now, actually. So I hope all of that helps. Serena, you ordered his book on Monday? Yeah, his book was called, I think, let me see, God Took My Clothes or something like that. It was so funny. It's a great title. Dawn says she's had many experiences with so many earth angels. Isn't that great? Laura says, I've been feeling anxious lately. The energy is heavy, and it has been, kind of intense. And we were heading up to that area of even more intensity this week starting. So if you have to turn off the news, turn off the news. If you need to go out and play with your animals, please do it. Walk outside. I mean, I have cows. I'm not kidding you. And I go out and I wave to the cows, and I get so excited when I see these cows. I love the cows. They're very grounding for me. I just love them. And I'm actually watching corn grow. Our corn is so high now, I don't even know what to say. I'm going to do a video on it because nobody would believe it. Anna Samarco, she says, Kellee, can I have a reading? And so your birthday is October 13th. October 13th Okay, seriously, what is going on here? That is also a 9 of clubs. 9 of clubs again. 9 of clubs comes to complete a soul cycle. We call them the sexy 9 of clubs because they actually can choose any mate they want. They often will be, the first relationship often doesn't work out for a lot of reasons because there's a huge karma thing in all nines, and often they have to learn about relationships. But a 9 of clubs can they're so smart, and many of them are healers, and they always end up having another act, meaning they might start off in one career and then by golly they'll go into another career. So it's one of my favorites, actually. So okay, Kim Ann says, do I have an opinion on what's going on in the cosmos the night of the debate and Biden's issue that night? There was probably a lot of planetary reasons. There were so many planets, Kim Ann, that were, well, there are so many wobbles right now and so many, changing planets, changing signs and going retrograde. This period and is just this last couple of weeks, but now going further, oh my goodness, it is some period of energy. It just is. Really be mindful, be kind, take your shoes off, walk outside, breathe. As Dr. Shirley would say, don't forget to breathe. Yeah, it's a big deal. Patty Campbell says, I lost my beautiful best canine buddy, Marley, a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm so sorry, Patty. God bless you. She said, I tell him daily how much I love and miss him. Let me get you a card. Yes, honey, let me get you a card. I'm sorry, Patty. I've got chills. Boy, I think Marley is totally around you. Let's get you a card here. Here we go. I'm standing right next to you. So, Patty, but let me tell you, he is not far away. He is right there. And I was going to ask everybody this. This happened to me the other night. I was, I woke up Monday morning. I could not believe it. My other dog, Livy, who passed in 2017. Okay, so Sunday night, I was cutting up watermelon. And when Livy was alive, I'd give her a piece, then I'd have a piece. She'd have a piece, I'd have a piece. She loved watermelon. Like none of my other dogs could care less about watermelon. And as I was cutting this watermelon, I was thinking about Livy. And I swear, I felt like she was right next to me. So I almost reached out to give her a piece of watermelon. Well, and then I stopped. That night I went to bed. And the next morning, Livy, who I had not seen in all those years, in 2017, when she passed, she came to me in a dream, and she was wearing the most beautiful crown of flowers all over. And then she had them on her backside too. And then she walked over to my dog Charlotte in my dream and put on another crown of roses around her. And it was the sweetest. I almost just didn't want to wake up. So I just loved her so much. So Patty, pay attention to your dreams, because definitely Marley will be there. Definitely. Okay. And Margaret says, I don't understand the conjunction factor. So conjunction means this: two planets that are so close to each other, they're at the same degree, and it means they're right next to each other. Well, when two planets are right next to each other, imagine if two people are next to each other and they're like, oh, like this, it's too much. And so the energy will expand on that planet, like this Mars, in this case, Mars, which is like intense energy, fire, ready to go, explosive, triggering, and Uranus, which is slow but explodes. So you have those two together in a conjunction, meaning right next to, on top of each other, with the Death Star, Al Ghul, on top of all of that. I'm going to tell you what, next week is going to be, I'm just going to say it, probably explosive. It's going to be intense. So, and Suzanne, your birthday's on the 16th. So that would make you a true Cancer, I would say. And on that day, on the 16th, although we have so many astrological aspects, I would say this, Suzanne, your life will probably transform this year because there's so much transformation. So if your birthday is anytime during that period, it would probably transform. Also, if your birthday is anytime between, I'll say September 17th, when we have the first eclipse, and this next eclipse after that is October 2nd. So that hits me right smack right there. if your birthday's around that period of time, you will also have a great transformation. Eclipses bring change here. So Lizette, so what about July 17th? So honey, you are a Jack of clubs. Oh wait, is that right? Hold on a minute. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Jack of clubs with a Queen of spades, which makes you very, very powerful, Lizette. Jack of clubs with a Queen of spades, both together, makes you very, very powerful. Good for business, excellent for business. Not good, excellent for business. Excellent, Lizette. I hope that your business is thriving. I hope if you focus and get your business going, you're so darn creative. Honey, amazing things can happen with that. Oh my God. Amazing things here. It is. Oh, Lisa, you love The Bear? I know, it's such a good show. I love that show so much. I can't stop it. Okay, now I just want to remind everybody that James and I are going to be doing an Evening of Spirit in person in Lake Forest, Illinois, near Chicago. So please, if you're anywhere in that area, you're going to love it. We're going to have the best time. And we're going to be doing I think it's a private meet and greet. So for certain people, if you sign up for that. So that's going to be fun because we love to work together and it's going to be great. And Jen Weigel, our dear friend Jen, is going to be hosting the event for us. So that's going to be really fun. So if you're a fan of Jen's, she'll be there. So that's going to be really great. And also my August calendar is up. So everything was delayed, everything's been delayed, but now my August calendar is up. So if you would like a personal reading from me in depth, please go to kelleewhite.com and guess what? You'll see my new website too. My new website is up, which I'm really, really excited about. So Trey says to me, technically I'm a Vedic, in Vedic, I'm a Gemini, but I identify as a Cancer. Well, you know what? In more ways you are attuned to Cancer than Gemini. Well, Trey, it might be because your rising is Cancer or your moon is Cancer. See, that happens too. Crystal Burgess, Kellee, what book do you recommend for strengthening your mediumship or psychic abilities? That's a good question. Gosh, you know what? I have to think about that, Crystal. Really, what I would say, if you're really looking for that, I would look at any of the James Van Praagh classes. He teaches, go to vanpraagh.com for his. He's got great classes on that. I have to think about that for books on it. I used to know a lot of the books on it. I have to think about that, honey. So I think I've read probably everything that I could think of for that. But good question. But I would definitely go look at that. Okay, I definitely think that would be. Marge says Pluto needs to go back to Disneyland. Okay, that's so funny because back in the day, I actually worked at Disneyland, and because I was 5'2", and so I got to be Mickey Mouse. That's right. And Pluto was there, and Pluto was, you had to be really tall to be Pluto. And I think the guy that played Pluto was like, I don't know, 7 feet tall or something. That was hilarious. So that's what I think of. But you're right. Okay, so let's see. Yes, the tenant girl says, Kellee, can I explain the birth card versus a yearly card? Yes, versus a 52-day card versus a daily card. Yes. So when I do a chart, I do look at the birth card first. And that's what I was talking about tonight. There's so many avenues, but I'm glad you asked that question. So I'll look at the birth card first. Then I'll look at the yearly card. So for the year, you might be a 9 of spades, which tells me for the year, a lot of completions are going to happen this year. A lot of things will end this year. Those kind of things. So a yearly card might be a 5 of spades. 5 of spades means change. It means healing. It means moving. So I'll look for things like that. Now, a 52-day card would be, what period are you in? Are you in Mercury? Are you in Venus? Are you in Mars? Because everything goes with astrology with this as well. So I look at it from, where are you? I'm looking at, let's say somebody has a health issue. I'll look at Saturn and I'll say, there might be an issue there. Or I don't, your Saturn looks good, so you're fine. So I hope that helps. And the daily card, if somebody I know is going to get married, or somebody, which I do this a lot for, or somebody who's going to have surgery, I will look at the daily card system and then I'll look at the astrology of that day to see if that works for them. I have done that tons and tons of times. So anyway, well, thank you, everybody. So join us on Monday. We have a new guest on Monday on our show, After life after death and beyond. Old habits run deep. And we have a guest that's going to be talking about quantum physics and intergalactic. It's going to be pretty wild. It's a woman who's really smart. She's actually a rocket scientist. I'm not kidding you. She's a real rocket scientist. So she's going to be on our show on Monday. So please join us on Monday and take care, my friends. And I'll see you next Thursday. Have a great week. Remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to everybody. Bye.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.